Okay, so today we had the official Ermac and Mavado gameplay reveal trailer, and this trailer has given us so much more information than many of us were expecting. Whether it's down to how Ermac plays, the many moves that Mavado has, it goes beyond that with various extra possible features and some character changes that could be coming up with the next balance patch. This video is to break down a whole bunch of what we saw in that trailer, so let's get this intro out of the way and jump into exactly what today's trailer demonstrated. So almost immediately, there's almost too much to break down in one go, but to start this clip, we kind of see Ermac go for this whiff punish that appears to be a single normal, and then there's a push attack. This attack is clearly enhanced, which causes that almost crumple-like effect, the new stun in this game that has them on the ground, and when you hit them, it becomes a kind of airborne attack. But from here, a string that puts Ermac airborne and then engages another enhanced attack that causes these hands to appear on the ground, possible restand situations, possible combo pathing, and afterwards, a forward advancing knee that on first glance appears like an individual normal. However, as Ermac is off the ground, it's almost special cancelled into the float that Ermac is known for. From that point, we see just kind of a basic combo tagged into a Mavado assist, and kind of showing that there are many options that allow Ermac to go for these airborne attacks, and who knows what kind of combo potential can come from it. After we see the float, we see the exact same string with the knee that puts Ermac airborne, but there's a second hit of which a ambush Mavado comes in to extend, and the combo is finished with what looks like a string into a lift ender. This does look like a combo string, I don't think it's quite a special move, and to defeat a wake-up attack, we see a charged move that is backdashed out of the exact same kind of whiff punish that started the combo, only this string has an extra hit, of which a special cancel into teleport connects. After the teleport, another Mavado attack comes in, and then an attack that finishes the combo, repositioning Ermac, and it's unclear whether it's a airborne choke or whether it's some kind of just general string ender. Now here's one thing I want to talk about, Ermac's throw animation, or lack of in this case. We see this throw come out twice, both Ermac's version and the Mavado version, and pay attention to just how little of a startup animation is there. Normally when you're reacting to throws, you see the animation and you tech accordingly. It seems like with Ermac, there is very little animation to be had. He just kind of appears in front of you and before you know it, you're being grabbed. This could be the hardest to tech grab in the entire game, if this is what it's like. From there, the possible cheap stuff continues. Ermac performs a string that looks like it has a cheeky second low in it, so there's going to be an element of mix-up with overhead cameos. But check this out. Mavado comes in and straight up OTGs from the knockdown. Afterwards, Ermac kind of activates a buff, and it looks like it simply enhances some of these special moves that already exist. That grounded bending backwards blast is something that he does later in the trailer. This one looks a bit bigger. Now going into an air string that puts Ermac on the ground for that kind of beam attack, that looks like it could be exclusive to this mode. It's not going to be exclusive when you look at the different version of the lift, where this kind of spirit appears, or one of the many souls that he controls, but that might also have increased properties. This buff clearly enhances his existing moves, but I'm not sure if he gains extra ones. We'll have to wait and see. After this airborne lift comes out, we see more extensions that lend Ermac having possibly quite a few airborne strings. Now, I'm not really sure if many of these repositions and these kind of extra moves he does are tied to just having lots of airborne options, or maybe he just has air cancel potential. But afterwards, a new move from Mavado. A low mine that combos on hit and appears to be an ambush. There is so much to break down on Mavado that I'll explain in a bit, but after this lands, another air string from Ermac into another Mavado attack, and kind of a two-hit string that appears similar to like a Quan Chi forward 4. It looks like it has a set juggle animation that may make ending combos significantly easier. And this is not the last time we see that two-hit string in this trailer. Alright, so this is where things start to get a little bit different. A teaser at a possible Reptile buff. Ermac goes for a string that launches into an airborne teleport, he cancels it into float, he goes for more of his air options, but pay close attention here. Reptile goes for an acid spit, but there is longer startup. This leads into a Mavado attack that I'll describe in a minute. It's hilarious of a throwback from Mortal Kombat Deception, but pay attention to after this. Ermac goes for his side-switching throw. This is again paying close attention to the lack of grab animation, so I really think that this throw is going to be difficult to tech on reaction. But afterwards, Reptile pretty much just does like his standing 3, his tail attack. He cancels that into an invisibility and then tries to go in for his elbow dash, gets knocked down by Ermac, and then goes for a different projectile. A acid spit projectile that he doesn't normally have. This does confirm not 1, but 2 new attacks that Reptile has in the game, and who knows if that's all there is. Moving on from the possibility of new Reptile attacks, though, it confirms that the enhanced teleport of Ermac launches, and it allows for a full combo, so he's going to be difficult to zone. In terms of extensions, he does the basic special move version of his kind of like leaning backwards launch, cancels out of it into his advancing knee, and again just combos into the spectral Ermac-like float that we've seen in previous games, comboing into the lift, extending this with the Mavado mine to kind of go for this like recapture situation. All we can see in this combo is that this character is going to be a combo machine, and I'm really excited to see how far we go with it, because just looking at all of these extensions, so many moves that we've seen in the trailer already, but they're piece by piece being combined to make so much more. This character could be kind of ridiculous from a style point of view. Now here's possibly going to be the hardest read of this prediction, I suppose. Look at this. A flawless block, Ermac flashes white, Mavado comes in and knocks the opponent away. I do not think that is Mavado specific. That looks like this game could be adding push blocks into the game with the next patch. I'm prepared to be wrong. It could be only Mavado that has that. But the fact that the character glows white for a short time and it's specifically done off a flawless block makes me think that this game is actually going to add defensive mechanics. The final sequence that we see after this push block, whether it is Mavado or every character has it, is a teleport on knockdown to reposition, and then kind of just a combination of everything that we've already seen. We see a 2-hit string, it's cancelled into the float, as technically Ermac is airborne. He then goes for some weird cancels, a bounce animation of which he cancels into that grounded launch, he cancels out of it into more grounded stuff, and then we see an enhanced lift that continues this combo into even more. This whole combo was Ermac on his own, without cameo, and after the lift, we cancel into float again, and we repeat the 2-hit string that looks like it has set gravity to allow more combos to connect. The fact that Ermac on his own is doing all of this stuff makes me very excited to see what more he can do with the right cameo. Because if you're interested in like high execution, big combos, crazy style, this kind of looks like the character for you. Now, it wasn't just Ermac that we saw extensively. We saw a decent amount of what the Mavado cameo is bringing to the table. And look, this character in the 3D games was only really remembered for hook swords, ropes, and really funny sound effects. That's kind of all there was to it. So, what have they done with this character? It appears that they have absolutely exaggerated the rope idea. And Mavado, with the exception of his mine, uses that in every single attack. The first thing to note is that it appears there's only one summon cameo. The rest of them all seem to be ambush, as in you can move without any restrictions and Mavado just comes in to extend whatever it is you've just done. The first time is when, after a certain combo, Mavado comes in from the other side with a launch. After this, we see Mavado land from the absolute top and extend a juggle with its own pop-up, and then afterwards, kind of a capitalization off a low knockdown, an OTG. Now, I wonder if this is going to give free damage to every knockdown, or whether this is tied to very specific situations. But my point is, we saw 3 different ambush moves that can work off combos in different ways, and I'm kind of wondering, is this just one move that Mavado reacts depending on the string, or are you going to be in total control of every single version this character might have? Outside of these standard obvious combo extender situations that it looks like these three different moves have, there is a new move that Mavado has never featured, a low mine. This mine, again, appears to be an ambush, so it doesn't restrict your movement. However, when it connects, fully stuns the opponent and, from what we've seen later in the trailer, recaptures and allows for further combos still. This is something I did not expect. It is a truly new move that he has never had before. However, depending on how freely you can let this mine go, it could be one of the best setup tools in the entire game, because you can use it whenever you want, and on hit allows for a full combo. I'm just wondering, are there going to be any restrictions here? The final Mavado move that we saw is a move that he didn't have in 3D Mortal Kombat. Mavado appears behind you, and this is the only summon attack that we seem to see the cameo feature, where on hit, he pulls the opponent towards you and you essentially clash heads. It looks incredibly funny, it looks incredibly silly, and I love it because this exact move is something that Cabal had in Mortal Kombat Deception. It's one of the moves I did not expect to see it again, but I'm gonna be honest, it made me chuckle, and I think it will for a very long time. But overall, we just saw so much information from this trailer. We've seen that Ermac is a character of many different combo paths. The fact that he has grounded confirms quite a few of these strings he features put him airborne, of which he can cancel into various airborne moves. And I think he's going to be one of the most airborne characters in the game. Not necessarily like a Natara kind of deal, where he's jumping all over the place, but there are just loads of moves that allow him to cancel into extra extenders that, when pieced together, could create a rather terrifying character from a combo point of view. But combos are merely one part of a character. Is he going to have mix-up? Is he going to have setup? To be honest, I think there's a strong possibility. He has a lot of stuns, he has the lift, he has the grounded hands that grab you from the ground, he has the chargeable push that forces a crumple state. There is a lot of potential here, and we've already seen players like Sonic Fox say that this is an instant day one main, because if you're a creative player and you're looking for combos, setups, weird situations, it's looking on face value like this character kinda has all of that. From a Mavado point of view, this character is also bringing a lot more to the table. He's bringing mad combo extenders. Can he OTG a knocked down opponent? That's something that no one's really able to do at the moment. Can he extend all of these different combos to give you larger combos than you ever had before? A low hitting mine, maybe? Is it going to be a mid? I hope it's a mid, because if that's a low, that's going to be kind of ridiculous. And of course, the one and only summon that, although the move looks kind of silly, I don't know what else it's going to do. Mavado giving you so much ambush utility could be one of those glass cannon situations where maybe he's a 950 HP character rather than something a lot more extreme, but only time will tell. And of course, we have to talk about the fact that Reptile is clearly using new moves in this trailer, and when you add on the fact that there might be a push block being added, whether it's going to be Mavado on his own, whether they were just putting that in the trailer to show that it's a new thing they're adding into the game, and Ed Boon himself recently the other week saying that Shujinko will be receiving some buffs soon, I kinda have a feeling that this upcoming patch is going to be rather large. But either way, this was my typical new trailer is out, and of course I'm going to overanalyze the absolute hell out of it kind of situation. Thank you so much for watching this video. Stick around for plenty more Mortal Kombat where that came from. I will be very excited to try out Ermac Day 1 and try and find what kind of cameos I enjoy, what kind of combos we can come up with. We know that Mavado will be releasing later, so he will not be releasing at the same time as Ermac. However, that, combined with all of the possible gameplay changes, has me rather optimistic for this upcoming patch. I really do hope that things work out, and I hope that nothing goes wrong along the way. I know the game does have some online stability issues. The online desync issue was fixed earlier on, so fingers crossed they can continue to fix things that get broken along the way. And let's just try and sit and enjoy some Ermac, see what this character's bringing to the table and how much of a possible competitive splash he may or may not make. My name is Ketchup. This was another Mortal Kombat video. Stick around because there is plenty more where that came from, and I will see you next time. Take care.